Okay. Okay. Let me,
Oh, maybe I am live now.
but Instagram, I have to. Once you go
Oh,
live,
it looks like I'm live. I wasn't in the stage, but it looks like I'm live. But what I'm not live on is the Greatness Lab Facebook,
Where's that Facebook? Okay.
and then on Instagram,
Your Instagram, those should be totally set up. Yeah.
it's not. This is we're having trouble streaming on Instagram. Once you've gone live. All right, so I'm live. Can you do the thing on Instagram now? Because it looks like I'm live now.
Okay. Live on which account? Yours or Greatness Lab?
Well, it looks like I'm in the studio. It looks like I'm live here. But it doesn't. Greatness Lab nor my personal account. It doesn't look like Instagram is working.
Yeah, I need to. We need to make it go live here. And for some reason, it's still not giving me the option to get live. It's still kind of gray. Let me see what Lucas click on it. Let me just do this. We're not trying to do Instagram. If not, we create a new code for Instagram, but it should really work. Yeah, this one is this. This is change the code. Okay, using the development first. Change.
Coach.
All right, there we are.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream. We're working. Elaine's in the back trying to get us to go live on Instagram. Looks like we're live on Facebook, and we're not live on Facebook Greatness Lab.
Okay.
Because it looks like it was deleted, but I think Elaine is working on that. Elaine, is that right? Are you working on that one?
I will. I gotta get Instagram first to see. We might have to create Instagram code again. So let me just do it again.
And then it looks like the Facebook Greatness Lab is not live as well.
Yeah, I'll check because that should be in there. But if not, I'll queue.
Looks like we have a couple minutes. So people are watching us anyway, Coach. So we'll start at 1.
That's right.
Yeah, get started. I'll get Instagram going. Yeah, it shouldn't be. You should be able to get started.
Okay.
So I have to go back and recreate the code. Sorry. So I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
One of these days, I'm going to figure out this live stream thing, Coach.
Yep. Just get on there.
The Instagram is a little different.
Yesterday it was 71 degrees in Tennessee, and this morning it's 37. It dropped almost 50 degrees.
That's violent.
It was violent. It was a violent a thunderstorm all night, and a 50-degree drop in temperature in one day.
That's an unreal. I just got to say it was really a cold day in Florida too. It was 78.
Yeah.
I think they said it was going to rain, and I saw like a couple of raindrops falling. So they weren't wrong.
Yep.
It wasn't necessarily right either.
That is the beauty. Well, if you're ready to get started, I know we've got a few people who are going to be watching this who told me they're going to be watching it.
Yes, sir.
People we're actually having active conversation with that are joining the Greatness Lab, or they're coming to Nashville on the 26th and the 27th. Yeah. And they're trying to figure out how they can engage with us. And I think what most people are very interested in is your thoughts about your recruiting philosophy. And why does this seem so complicated? Why does this seem so complicated for people, right? So let's start there. Let's define, because today we're talking recruiting, training, and development. And when I was in strategic coach many years ago, Sullivan always taught us to think of our companies like intellectual property companies, right? We really own intellectual property companies that have very specific specializations. And that's how we needed to talk about it. Well, the more I've worked with you, you really have an intellectual property company that has a very specific intellectual property in recruiting, training, and developing, right? We've turned that into a system, a $600 million system that we're going to be sharing, and you're going to be sharing literally next Thursday and Friday at the Greatness Factory in Nashville, the 26th and 27th. But kind of define your recruiting philosophy so people can really understand what you're thinking.
Well, I got a couple of different ways to think about it, right? First is I define the success formula. So what is a success formula, right? A success formula is you take your activity, which is either calls or people seen, times conversion, which how many of those actually become to buy something from you, whether you're in the insurance or financial services business or it's AUM, times case size, which is how much revenue comes per household. So I think of share of wallet as case size. That is the success formula. Okay. The scale formula takes that exact same success formula and then says times the number of people within your organization that can do it. So my philosophy has always been for a long time is, and the question I always ask people when it comes to managing and running their businesses, if I said to you, you could pick a number, 30 cents on a dollar, 40 cents on a dollar, 50 cents on a dollar for every dollar of revenue that comes into your business, the net margin, right? And you could take zero financial risk from that person that you recruited into the system. How many people would you recruit? And the right answer is what, Coach?
As many as you could.
As many as you could, right? So if you reverse engineer the margin that you want to run in your business, and you create a compensation system that allows you to achieve that particular goal, then what you should do is you should go hire as many people that fit within and want that type of system as possible. Many times there's two different schools of thought. My school of thought is it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of people have gotten away that's our blue ocean strategy. That's our blue marlin strategy, which is basically saying, look, everybody's trying to go after the $1 million, $2 million producer who has an existing book with existing relationships. Okay. Right. The person's a target for every single person that's out there today in financial services that wants to recruit experienced people. People are giving them big checks, money, all of that type of stuff. And if you do get that person to come into your system, you're going to pay them too much. You're not protecting your margin. And then you're going to have to deal with moving or repapering, 4,000 accounts as an example.
Yep.
What I think, candidly, is it's easier to give birth, to hire somebody who's committed, qualified, and coachable, that has a vision that aligns with the vision that you have for your organization, and then create a system around that to recruit the right type of candidate into your organization as many times as you can, and then mirror them up to your success formula so they can have an unbelievable amount of success themselves, while at the same time, as they succeed, you succeed.
Okay. I like that. So your recruiting philosophy, I'm going to parallel this to when I was a basketball coach, because I had an offensive philosophy and a defensive philosophy. And my offensive philosophy was offense wins championships, defense don't win championships, right? So we wanted to push and create and go at people so hard that they really wanted to quit. Like we wanted to, Nolan Richardson had 40 minutes of hell back in the 90s at Arkansas. And that was my philosophy as a basketball coach. This is going to be 32 minutes of hell for my opponent. So for you, your philosophy is to give birth versus raise the dead. Now, let's get a little bit more tactical.
Sure.
Because a person could go their entire life and either tell themselves they're not good at this or may not be good at this, therefore keeping them small, and they never realize their full potential of the business. Talk about that.
Well, necessity is the mother of all invention. And if you think small, you become small, right? There's a difference between a life practice, which is a nice life with a good income, than being the CEO of a major business that scales and exits into the future. And in order to do that, what you have to do is you have to build a system that consistently produces results without your effort involved in it. You have to remove discretion from the operating level, where it becomes a process from start to finish. So the way we think about it, and it didn't always start this way, is we have a sourcing department. These people post jobs, manage inflow of resumes that come in. coach, we don't do an individual interview with every single person that may not be interested. So
Right.
when somebody comes into the system and they apply for the position that we have, we do an overview, career preview, could be 10, 20 people per location that we have, which is 27 locations today. We could have, and there's some weeks that we have 25 and 30 people per location inside of these things. And what we do is we really are upfront and transparent about the company, the culture, the right fit for us, the compensation, how the people are trained. And what that does is it begins to shrink down the candidate pool. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to find people with aligned values and aligned vision that we have within the organization, that when we know if they get through the system and we like them and they like us, we're not trying to backpedal in terms of why they're a good fit or not. They've self-selected themselves out. We've selected them into the system, and then we create the opportunity for them. How do they get licensed to get into the system? You know, if you think about it, what I call level 4 leadership is the ability to rally a group of people around a cause in order to solve problems consistently, tied back to the vision and values of the organization. So if you're thinking about this logically, I find many people make mistakes because when they want to hire people, they think of it as them interviewing people one-on-one, one at a time, forever, right?
Yep.
So if I'm trying to hire, you know, I'll give you an example. I mistakenly have bought a restaurant and I want to hire a front of the house manager. So I post a job on Indeed, and I probably had 300 resumes of people that are looking for this job. Most of them have to go. Now I have to go review those resumes, find someone that I like, then I get them on a call, and then I realize I don't like those people, and it's a lot of effort in order to hire one good person. And if that's the way we're thinking, that's a mistake. So level 4 leadership is, and in our organization, what you should do is that you should limit the amount of time that you spend on it and try to get as many people to handle the task of doing it in the smallest period of time possible. So as an example, if you had a 1 hour period of time where your interviews, the first interview is a half hour, right? That means if you had an hour a day, and each interview is a half an hour, right? You'd have 10 interviews a week. Well, if you now have 4 people that do that work within that same hour, so just imagine in each hour's time frame, you have 4 interviews going on. Now you've done 40 interviews in 1 hour. And that's all it took, was an hour of people's time. So what you're starting to do is you're starting to get leverage and gain leverage, where instead of you having 40 hours of interviewing or 20 hours of interviewing, you have 5 hours of interviewing for the same 40 people. And when you start to think like that from a scale perspective, what you're doing is you're really just trying to find and spend the time with the right person that buys into your vision, the values, and the mission of that organization, that sees the opportunity the way you see it, which is an amazing opportunity for anybody that you're hiring, and then build a system to be able to execute upon it.
Now, when you think about the people who are out there right now, they own a financial services firm, an insurance company, and they're stuck in this lifestyle, but that's not what they want. Okay. They could actually partner with the Greatness Lab and talk about how we could help them with the recruiting, specifically the recruiting, the training and development. And let's just take a person out there that's doing, you know, anywhere between $250,000 and $500,000 of EBITDA, and they're just stuck. They're kind of in no man's land, and they're frustrated, and they're getting coached by Coach Burt, but they're going, gosh, I want to sit at a bigger table, but I'm stuck at a small table. How do we help them?
Well, you know, and I've said this to you, Coach, we have an ecosystem.
Yep.
So many times people sell coaching programs where you buy the binder, right? And you take the binder, and you've got tools. You and I both, you know, have been a big proponent of Strategic Coach. I still use his Impact Filter.
Yep.
So there are tools that I bought and purchased over the years that I said, oh, I can take that and I can use it with my team. And I think those are great by all means. But what the Greatness Lab has the ability to do is to give you a front seat at the ecosystem. Just imagine, if you will, for a moment, that if early on in Jeff Bezos's start of Amazon, that he said, you know what, why don't you come spend time with me? And I will teach you everything that we've built and why we built it. And you can touch it, feel it, you can interview it, you can come and see it. What an amazing experience. So not just the binder, but the access to a seat at the big table. Our organization will do over 100 million in sales. I'll repeat that. 9 years ago, it didn't exist, and we'll do over 100 million in sales this year alone. And what we're basically saying is through the Greatness Lab is that is your entrance point where you can join us. You can pay an annual fee associated with that. You can tell us what you're trying to get accomplished from a goals perspective, and we'll help you do it. Secondly, when it comes to training, you'll learn that recruiting's not easy, but it is pretty simple. There's a difference between simple and easy, which is the level of complexity that goes on and how you manage and run that system. It's about people management and people leadership, right? Training, once they get there, is a different animal because 70% of training is experiential, meaning that you can't read a book, you can't take a test, you can't do anything that's going to actually help you get better. The only way to really get better is to learn from a master. The way to become a master is to go student, practitioner, teacher. So what the Greatness Lab has the ability for you to do is to use our training platform to build your training platform. I'm going to repeat that because I think it's critical, right? So you can go hire somebody that you're not sure if it's actually going to work out. They don't have a proven track record to be able to train people at the level that we have. And you can spend money on infrastructure being able to say, well, maybe it works and maybe it don't. Or what you can do is you can engage with us. We will train your people. You join our IMO and we'll show you a proven system that brought in $600 million of annuity business. And then we're going to give your people the experiential experience needed for them to become masters. Now it starts, you can come to our annuity operating system, right, which is in the 26th and 27th. I believe we have another one coming up in June if you want to kind of get the taste. This coming next week, I think we've got 45 people. Many of them are organizations that are bringing their teams. What they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're going to bring our team to learn that system. So that's called level 4 leadership.
Yep.
I want to have as many people with their hands on the prize that I possibly can, tied back to mission, vision, and values. And then when they go back to the organization, that was just the classroom, right? So now we need that next level of experience, which is let us do it for you. Observe to do it. You still get paid the same revenue that you would normally get paid, but you're going to be able to plug in and use the experience that we have to build the experience that you need.
So when you're thinking about these offices and you've got 27 offices, right, around the country, talk about the spin up and how those get stood up from a perspective. You got one in Chattanooga, I think, which is in Tennessee. And tell me about how these things get spun up around the U.S.
Well, we're very clear in terms of the vision that we have as an organization. One of the biggest challenges I think people have when trying to scale their business is their limited belief systems in terms of the way they see the world. They have had some success. What do you say? Some success. Yep. You have a great quote for this. What is it?
The accidental arrogance of success.
The accidental arrogance of success. And you can't do what you've never done if you've never seen it, nor have you been participated with somebody who's actually done it. You have to learn from actually doing it. So our organization, years ago, we copied unintentionally or intentionally. It was a little different. The enterprise management rent-a-car. Have you ever rented a car for enterprise?
Yes.
Yeah. How's been the experience?
Yeah, it was great.
What's great about it?
Consistent.
It's consistent.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Consistency is what I remember.
It's always people. The youngest people are so friendly and they're so accommodative. And they're not selling you. They're just trained. They're one of the best training industries in there. And if you go into the covers, and that's really what we copied, was the enterprise management rent-a-car program where kids out of college enter with a pathway for them to become regional managers, district managers, senior vice presidents of that organization. And they used to be the best at it. I think we're the best at it today. So we hire into leadership.
Okay.
First interview. We put a pathway where people can grow into the company, get stock options, make big money. We have 25-year-old young people in our organization making $500,000, $600,000 a year plus stock options. These people are going places. They have more experience in terms of managing a business than people that have been in the business 25 and 30 years. It's because we look for eagerness over readiness, and ultimately we train readiness, right? We incite eagerness. So I can take a young person, not just a young person, really any person that wants to grow. We can plug them into our recruiting system. We can move them into Chattanooga. Within 5 months, we can turn a profit on that organization, and then we can build those organizations from the ground up because of a recruiting system and an operating system that basically can have, our biggest organization right now has 79 people in it, right? Just financial advisors, not counting staff. That organization didn't exist 4 years ago. Our DC branch, which you guys will see, John Scriffany, the Scrifference, as we like to call him, he's a coach for a disciple as well. But that organization didn't exist 2 years ago. It's got 53 people. John has done 70 million in annuity production. He's done over 1,000 financial plans. I mean, this place is on fire. And the reason that's the case is because of a great recruiting system, hiring the right people, allowing them to see the fruits of their labor come to fruition through success and development, and then allowing them to go build something and create a bigger table for themselves.
Well, to me, it's like all of the people who are out there who have a high prey drive. They want to play at a higher frequency. They're stuck in a lifestyle business. I can't find a good reason why they wouldn't join us. I really can't. And I've thought about it. I'm like, why wouldn't a person join us if they're stuck at some type of plateau? So the next opportunity is to come to Nashville, the 26th and the 27th. We're going to be breaking down the entire system. So there'll be a nice combination of helping you think bigger, big table moves, key structures that I'll be coaching on. Then there'll be a lot of the system that Jason will be breaking down. We'll be taking meetings with people. It'll be a great chance for you to come and just meet and greet and see what the Greatness Lab is about. And then we know we're taking meetings every single week with all types of people who are wanting to join us, right? Can you give them an example of some people who've already joined us and like what type of business they're in?
Yeah, we've seen, I don't know if I'm supposed to name drop our people. Yeah. So I don't know, I should ask them if they mind doing that. We have seen, one of them I know I can say, because I'm a part owner of the business, is a company called the Financial Gym out of New York City, an organization that was built on financial planning or financial coaching on a subscription basis. They had found themselves not only plateauing, but actually going backwards in sales and having to make serious changes. And the reason is because, they didn't know how to manage the system of growth in order to protect their economics of the business. So we have an equity stake here at the Greatness Lab in that organization. We have literally embraced everything on the coaching side that we give to them. We've stood up their recruiting department. We have their interviews going. We have them coming to the AOS event that we have on the 26th and the 27th. We've identified over $130 million of opportunities that we could go get on managing the client's behalf, which would create over $5 million in revenue. So it's really just, being part of the ecosystem, understanding the culture, having a great vision and a mission that we worked on extensively, and then execution is just a great example of doing that. So you can check them out, Financial Gym Advisors. We anticipate over the next 5 years, that organization having 500 people. So we're serious about scaling that business. We've also seen one of the best things I think that are out there. If you're an insurance agent, the Medicare health space, you have to, I'm going to tell you the success formula again, right? Okay. It's activity times conversion times case size. It's very hard to scale a business to do 100 million in sales if the average case size is $300 per transaction.
Right.
A lot easier if you can take the $300 transaction and you can turn that household relationship into a $20,000 or $30,000 a year transaction, and an upfront sometimes in many instances it's 50, 60, or 70,000 in revenue. So I kind of looked at this as always said, any product that in financial services that's purchased in a household, I want to be able to provide a value proposition around, and everybody needs to start to think this way. If you're a Medicare or health insurance specialist, those people are investing in their 401k. They have a retirement plan to roll over. They have a home to insure. They have a car, a policy. They have an RV. They have a camper home. They have a boat, right? So whenever I'm thinking about this thing, is I'm saying, how do I provide a better mousetrap for my clients to be able to help them serve, to help them protect themselves, help them manage their money, and then as a result of that, what I do is I capture that share of the wallet. So anybody that's in financial services or anybody that's insurance, you ought to be asking yourself, where can I put more hooks into better service to my clients that I can maximize the revenue on a per household basis? The casinos, if you've ever seen the rewards programs today, the reason why the rewards programs at casinos work is because they recognize that it wasn't about getting people to go to their casino. It was about getting them to come back.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
I saw this great presentation that said in the city of New York, he said if the average person that goes to a restaurant once is 23%. So you go to a restaurant once in New York City and you never come back. Right.
Wow.
Only 23%. You show up 4 times. If you can get the person to come to that restaurant 4 times, 75% of the people will come back on a regular basis. So the question is how do you get them back?
Right.
So what the manager does is he says, here, when you come back, I'm going to give you a free steak dinner next time you come in. Person comes back a second time and he goes, next time you come in, dessert's on me. Guy comes back a third time. The 4th time he comes in and he says, next time I want you to come in, I want you to check the chicken. I want you to do it. So they know every new person that comes in the door, and what they do is they invite them back with incentives by getting them new hooks. And then their restaurant has a 70% loyalty rating, meaning that people come back 5, 6, 10 times as a result of the relationship that's built. Same idea, same concept, right? With us, that if I manage your money, I do your Medicare, I do your property and casualty, I do your home, I do your mortgage, I do your tax return, I do everything in your financial household where I become the person that your go-to person, right? What you're going to do is you're going to get that case size up, right? You're going to get your conversion numbers in line. You're going to get more activity because you're more referable. And once you've got those 3 systems built, then do it times 500.
Well, this is an exciting time for us because, man, we got a lot of opportunity here. And so if you're out there watching this and you want to grow, you want to build, grow, scale, you need knowledge, you need skill, you need desire, you need confidence. And 26th and 27th, you can go to greatnesslab.com. And I think we're going to have a really nice group of people who are going to be there, Jason. And we're having conversations every day with people all over the country, small to large. And the Greatness Lab is one place that can truly manufacture your greatness in this area. So another good session, man. I'm excited about this.
Me too. And we'll see you next week. And for everybody that's on, we hope we get to see you there. Are we done, Coach?
It still says live up there.
All right, I'm going to end it. Boom.